Sudanandana Prajajanarajana Yasudanandana Prajajanarajana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Sri Radha. Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Radha, Jaya Sri Radha. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gariba, Hariba, Hariba, Hariba. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakatarya Stotra Tatat Srimad Divine Grace ISKCON Pandasaya Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Si Kahao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gatatara Si Prasadi Si Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ke jai, Mayapanabadip Dham ke jai, Jagannathpuri Dham ke jai, Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya ke jai, Śrimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ke jai, Sama Veda Bhakti Vina ke jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the sum of devotees. All glories to the Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You know this verse in Bhagavatam talks about Radharani? Can I have it? Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchayva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasa Tato Jaya Mutiraya Astapaye Sabhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naisiki Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pesaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravan Picharina Nemesis Srimad. You don't have the book here? You don't have the book? The book is not there? Sorry. Let's bring the book for us. So, first of all, happy Radhastami to everyone here. We pray that Śrimati Radharani casts her sidelong glances on all of you. So, we're taking our reading this morning in honor of the appearance Radhastami celebration from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 30, text 28. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. So 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 30, text 28. Anaya radito nunam Bhagavan Hari Ishwaraha Yano Vihaya Govinda Pritoyam Anayat Radha Raha. So, I'll just go to the word-for-word translation. Anaya by her, Araditaha, perfectly worshipped. Nunam, certainly. Bhagavan, the personality of God. Hari, Lord Krishna. Ishwaraha, the supreme controller. Yet, inasmuch as Maha, us, Vihaya, rejecting, Govinda, Lord Govinda, Pritaha, please, Yam, whom, Anayat, led, Raha, to a secluded place. Translation and purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Certainly, this particular gopi has perfectly worshipped the all-powerful personality of God, Govinda, since he was so pleased with her that he abandoned the rest of us and brought her to a secluded place. Please kindly responsibly repeat. Certainly, this particular gopi as perfectly worshipped the all-powerful personality of God, Govinda, since he was so pleased with her that he abandoned the rest of us and brought her to a secluded place. Fourth, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the word Radhastami refers to Śrimati Radharani. He comments, the sage Sukadeva Goswami has tried with all endeavor to keep her name hidden. From now, it automatically shines forth from the moon of his mouth. That he has spoken her name is indeed is indeed her mercy. And thus the word Radhastami is like the rumbling of a kettle drum sounded to announce a great fortune. Although the gopis spoke as if jealous of Śrimati Radharani, they were actually ecstatic to see that she had captured Sri Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes the following detailed description of Śrimati Radharani's footprints as given by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Sri Ujjwala Nilamani. At the base of the large toe of her left foot is the mark of a barleycorn. Below that mark is a disc. Below the disc is an umbrella. And below the umbrella is a bracelet. A vertical line extends from the middle of her foot to the junction of her large and second toes. At the base of the middle toe is a lotus. Below that is a flag with a banner. And below the flag is a creeper, together with a flower. At the base of her small toe is an elephant god. And upon her heel is a half moon. Thus, there are 11 marks on her left foot. At the base of the large toe of her right foot is a conch shell. And below that, a spear. At the base of the small toe of her right foot is a sacrificial altar. Below that, an earring. And below the earring, a spear. Along the base of the second, third, fourth, and small toes is the mark of a mountain, below which is a chariot, and on the heel is a fish. Thus, altogether, there are 19 distinguishing marks on the soles of Śrimati Radharani's lotus feet. Om Gyana Timirandasya, Gyana Janasavakaya, Saksur Militam Dhyana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Suchetaya Mano Vistam Sapetam Dhyana Bhutale, Swayam Rupam Karamaya, Dadati Swa Padantikam. Vanchakalpatari Vacha, Kutasana Vacha, Kaditanam Pabim Diva Vaishnavi Diva Namo Namaha. So, welcome everyone to this morning class. When I saw the cards parked there, I was asking Nanda Nikitan that is today not a working day. So many they were parked there. And then, so you value Radharani. Hey, can you come close? I'm not carrying guns. So, that means you love Radharani, and today is a big day for us. Radhastami is more important to the Vaishnavas than even Krishna Janmashtami. Because Krishna Taba Punya Have Vai, E Punya Koribe Jabe, Radharani Kusi Habe, Dhruva Ati Bole, Tumaita. And Prabhupada, he inscribed in his diary about the Jaladuta when he wrote this poem. Now, he said, brothers, you want to please Krishna? No way. If Radharani is not pleased with you. So, our process is that of, and this is one of the reasons why you find in Vrindavan, the Brajabasis, they don't really chant Krishna's names, they chant Radha's name, Radhe. Even the, what's the name of these people who would ride all this tricycle? Even the rickshaw wala, yeah. Even the rickshaw wala in Vrindavan, they don't honk and say, get out from the way. Radhe. So you see how consciousness of people is completely different. Even a rickshaw wala is conscious of Radharani 24/7. So here in this text is giving us illumination. The commentators of this section of the 10th canto, they are disciples of Prabhupada, and they make so much of research in the Vedic literature. They brought out, they scoop out here and there, they brought out the commentaries of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur delineates in his Ujjwala Nilamani, it documented the symbols on the souls of Śrimati Radharani. Just like there are symbols on the souls of Lord Krishna, even on the palms of Lord Krishna, there are symbols on it. So tomorrow if someone comes to say, hey, in your culture, they say, Radharani, the worship of Radharani is supreme. I am Radharani. You can ask them to show you these symbols. Let me see your soul. If these symbols are there, and they are definitive. See, so a devotee, except somebody who wants to be cheated by these cheap gods, cheap incarnations, or cheap gurus, then that's a different thing. But if we don't want to be cheated, that's why, I emphasize, sometimes people say, oh, because he's a scholar, so he wants everybody to be reading the books. No, Prabhupada wanted us to read the Vedic literatures, so that we don't become like zombies, spiritual zombies, More before. So that if someone is saying something it's really peculiar, strange, yeah, you can ask questions, but with a blade of grass in between your leaves, ask questions. Yeah, I like this story. Where can if I want to read it, where can I find it? Because if you go to the internet, there are so many stories. There's so many stories. But we take the authentic stories from our acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. If you go and pick up anything and then you tell that story, I remember in Los Angeles. So the last time I was in LA, so I was emphasizing how the devotees should be careful about what is on the internet, because there's so many stories on the internet. And we are trying to be authentic, and we Rupa Nugas. We follow the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami and the previous acharyas, they've written there's so much of work they've done, documented about Krishna, Radha, and the associates, so many things written. Why we have to waste our time to jump from all those authenticated sources to go and read some things that if someone asks us, can I have a reference to this? And then we say, I'll get back to you later. He never gets back to you. I mean, it's like someone, you know, someone make a very nice, told a very nice pastime of Krishna and Arjuna, and I was intrigued. I loved it. I loved it pastime. But then, I wanted to have an understanding the source. I mean, maybe someone maybe thinking, oh, you don't have faith. You don't have faith. No, I do have faith. But the faith also should be backed up with reason. Because if Prabhupada also mentioned, we should not just accept things blindly. So here, listen, the people who made this commentary, they are top scholars in ISKCON. But they made references. They defined the references. They quoted Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, and even the literature where these symbols are described, it was quoted right there. And so I've seen also so many, stories about Radharani's appearance on the internet, even from Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But then, if I read through and I don't get a reference, I can't repeat that story in a public. Why? Because if someone asks me, Maharaj, I like this story. Where can I find this story? I will not tell a person, go to the internet. The internet is not our source. Our source is the Vaishnavacharyas. And so here, what is really intriguing to me is the perfectly documented incidents and the symbols of Śrimati Radharani, and all of these makes a lot of meaning. In other literatures, also there are documentary evidence of the importance or the relevance of each and every of these symbols, what they signify. So our books are not just some tales. So very quickly, in the Lalita Madhava of Rupa Goswami, there was a discussion between Purnamasi and Gagi. Gagi is the daughter of Gagamuni. Gagamuni documented so much of stuff, so much of literature on Krishna and Balaram. In fact, if you read the Gaga Samhita, it gives you so much of detailed information. Some of the things are not even in the Bhagavatam. Because Gagamuni was so close to the family. He was the one who was invited by Nanda Maharaj to come for the name-giving ceremony and all this type of stuff. This astrological charts and all this, they were done by Gagamuni. So he knew those kids right from the day they were born. And so there was this discussion between Gagi, the daughter of Gagamuni, and Purnamasi. And then Purnamasi was mentioning some things about Radharani, and Gagi said, wait a minute, tell me more. My father said like this. So where did you get this stuff? And, Purnamasi says, I heard this from my Guru Maharaj, Nanda Muni. So, if you read the Lalita Madhava, it gives us some insight about the appearance of Radharani. How Vindhya Pavata, or Mount Vindhya, was jealous of the Himalayas. Because the Himalayas gave birth to Parvati, who became Lord Shiva's wife. He became so famous in the whole 3 worlds, And so Vindhya also wanted to have, just an exalted daughter that will supersede, whose fame will supersede that of Parvati. And so he prayed, he performed some austerities, he prayed to Lord Brahma, and then eventually Brahma yielded to his prayers and blessed him with 2 daughters. And what are the names of those 2 daughters? Who knows? Brahma was pleased with the austerities of Vindhya Parvata, or Vindhya mountain, and he blessed him. This is documented again in the Lalita Madhava of Rupa Goswami. So Brahma was pleased with the austerities of Vindhya Parvata, or Vindhya mountain, so he blessed him with 2 daughters. So his wife became pregnant of 2 daughters. And what are those? What are the names of those 2 daughters? Yes, the men. If you don't know, I'll ask the ladies, because the men especially feel that, they know better than everybody else. I'll ask the ladies and they will tell you, and you'll be ashamed because Chandabali and Radharani? Okay. Are you sure? Huh? Well, you heard that. Do you support him? Do you support him? Yes. You support him? Yes. Anyone else who is supporting him? You support him? Yes. The ladies, do you support this guy? Huh? Any of the ladies who supports what Prabhu said? Okay, you have 3 votes for you there. So thank you very much. Yeah, Lord Brahma blessed Vindhya Parvata with 2 daughters, and that they were Radharani and Chandabali. However, when these daughters were born, at the time, Kamsa had already given instructions to his allies, demons and demonesses, to go and kill all new babies. And for the girls, they should not kill them, they should kidnap them and bring them to him. He will nurture them, grow up. So, one of Kamsa's allies, she went to the residence of Vindhya Parvata and kidnapped those 2 daughters. So when these kids were kidnapped, Vindhya invited his priests to chant mantras. Priests in those days, they were very powerful. The Brahmins, they used mantras to ignite sacrificial fire. Oh yeah. So the priests chanted mantras, and that weakened the strength of the demoness who was carrying this baby. And who is that demoness? Huh? If you know, just be bold to speak out. Eh? Putana. Yeah, Putana. Anyone disagreeing with her? If you disagree, agree with her, tell us the right one. Yeah, it's Putana. Thank you. So, as Putana took kidnapped these 2 girls and was going, Prabhupada mentioned it in the Bhagavatam that these demons or witches even, they can fly. They can fly on even a broomstick. This is a day in the Bhagavatam. Another scenario that I used to reflect on was how one of the sons of Krishna was literally kidnapped to a demon's palace because the demon's daughter wanted this boy and wants her to enjoy this boy. And so in other words, there are mystical cities. Krishna also delineated in his discussion with Uddhava, but he warned Uddhava that all of these mystic cities could be destructive for pure devotional service. And so when these powerful priests, Vinya's priests, chanted mantras, the Putana became weakened and it dropped. First it dropped in the valley, and then she was going, and then she again became so weak, she dropped Radharani. And that is how Radharani got picked up from a wall of lotus by Vrishabhanu. And in fact, that is how she became, she took shelter of Vrishabhanu's home. But in the same, Lalita Manava, it's mentioned that actually Vrishabhanu's wife was blessed with these two daughters, and she was pregnant of them. But then the prayers from Vindya Pavata were so intense, his austerities were so intense, that Lord Brahma has to beg the Lord for his mercy that, my devotee, I already sanctioned his boon. Please do something about it. And then these kids were transferred from the womb of Kitida to Vindya Pavata's wife. And so this is what is documented by Rupa Goswami in his Lalita Madhava. There are other stories, but I don't find the sources. So I can't repeat those stories. So essentially, Radharani is more important to us. And then it's also mentioned, again in Lalita Madhava, how the child was brought home, handed over to Kitida, and that was where? Which city was it? Or which town was it? Yes. Pandits, help us. Where was Radharani? Where did she take birth, or where did she appear? Are you sure? Someone said Basana. You said Basana, right? Okay. We're talking about where she appeared now. Yes, so it was in Rawa. So it's interesting, intriguing, very intriguing, to me, very intriguing pastimes, because, some of these stories that brought up by the acharyas, they're very nourishing, because it gives us some understanding the mysticism behind the appearance of the Lord and his associates. And so she was considered blind because she didn't open her eyes. But until the day that Nanda Maharaj, Mani Yashoda brought Krishna there for a visit, and Krishna crawled over, climbed over, and opened her eyes, because that was the deal before she agreed to come into the material world. That she didn't want to come. Again, it's documented. She didn't want to come when Krishna said they have to come to the material world for some pastimes. She didn't want to come because of the nature of the material world. And she said she didn't want to see anybody. This is chastity. She didn't want to see anybody. So she maintained that, and it was the first person she saw was Krishna. And so a lot of pastimes between Radha and Krishna. And essentially, for us, we need to understand two basic things. The worship of Radha is more important than even the worship of Krishna. And two, and if we please Radharani, then automatically Krishna is pleased. And Radharani is so merciful that she makes objective recommendations to Krishna about the service of a sincere devotee. She takes the devotee by the hand and says, "My Lord, Pramanath, bless this devotee. He or she loves you more than I do. Bless him or her." And Krishna can't resist the plea of Radharani. And so this is why Prabhupada says, Krishna taba punya habe bai. E punya koribe jabe Radharani kusi habe. Dhruva ati bole tumata. It is very difficult to attain Krishna. Yogis, they perform austerity. Some go into the bed of the sea to perform austerity for thousands of years to attain Krishna. And even that, in most cases, is not always successful. People go into the forest to perform austerities, to do meditations for thousands of years to attain Krishna. And even in those endeavors, in most cases, they get distracted. They get, carried away by other factors. But for the devotee, it's pretty simple. That we please Radharani. And how do we please Radharani? John was, one of the devotees, one of my mentees in Germany, he just wrote me, "So, how can I please Radharani today?" Yes, so how do we please Radharani today? Today is our appearance. How do we please that? Knowing that by pleasing Radharani, then we can get the mercy of Krishna. How to please Radharani? Yes, can someone tell us? How do we please Radharani? Yeah, again, amen. Prabhus. How do you, tell me, I don't know whether I asked this before, but how do you address the female devotees here? Is it Prabhus or Maharajas? Because in America, the version is different,
Yes, still going with Mataji.
Huh?
Yes, still we are going with Mataji.
You're going with Matajis. Is it true, Matajis? So, yeah. So can someone respond to that? Any service of the devotees. Anyone has additional input? Thank you. Anyone additional input? How do we please Radharani? Today is our appearance day, and Prabhupada said, except we please Radharani, no way, we cannot attain Krishna. These are the words of our own founder Acharya. Yes.
Since Radharani loves Krishna so much, share someone new about Krishna to bring a new person to know more about Krishna.
Okay, that's a good point. Any other points? Huh? What do you say?
No
apparat. Okay. Apparat to who or to what? What type of apparat? To devotees. Okay. That's a good one. Yes, anyone else? Say something.
Spread the glories of the holy name.
To spread the glories of the holy name. Yeah, all of these are correct because the point is that, Krishna said, it's so spiritually so funny. You see, now, even Lord Krishna, he says that the worship of his devotees is more important than his worship. That's what he told Arjuna in the Padma Purana. The worship of the devotee is more important than direct worship of Krishna. And Radharani is the topmost of Krishna's devotees. So it's still complementary statements. And the way to be able to please the Lord, remember this pastime of Krishna, Mother Yashoda trying to tie up Krishna with a rope to a wooden grinding mortar. And each time she tries to tie up Krishna, there was a shortage of the rope. And in that very pastime, it's explained that those inches of shortage of the rope denotes that, yeah, our endeavor is pretty required. You know, if you're in a college, there are required courses. Required courses. Courses you must do to pass, get a credit before you graduate. Yes, and individual endeavor is a required phenomenon in devotional culture. But that's not enough. There are other requirements. And one of those requirements is the mercy of the devotees. The mercy of the devotees. And the mercy of the devotees does not necessarily mean mercy of the Paramahamsa. The people who live with you in your house, are they devotees or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we speak the big philosophy, you know, Radhabhava, Rasika philosophy, but then, you know, we don't really take it home. The people, your spouse and your children, are they not devotees? So, I mean, I like talk simple things and relate even the pastimes to everyday reality. Because then it becomes like a philosophy. And philosophy in philosophy we have philosophy and applied philosophy. In applied philosophy, that is where people are innovative and they have transformations. They apply the concepts and constructs in their daily dealings, in their lives, and create some high character development in their lives. But the philosophy alone is not enough. We may know the philosophy very much. We may repeat all of these pastimes very eruditely, very expertly. But if we miss the other aspect of the knowledge acquisition, see, in information culture or spiritual information culture, we have 3 steps of the knowledge. We have the basic or fundamental concepts or the theories, say the statements given by Lord Krishna, or statements that are there in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Bhagavatam. These are the theoretical concepts. These are the theoretical frameworks. Now the commentaries of the acharyas, they are the contemporary aspects of those very literatures, of those very theoretical concepts. And the integration of the theoretical concepts with the contemporary commentaries, the application of that is what enhances or facilitates character development, transformation. Otherwise, we can just become paratologists. You know what is paratology? A parrot repeats anything you tell them very expertly. Parrot. So, the repetition of statements without applying the essence of that statement in a bid to creating a transformation, I call that paratology. And you can say, well, who said that? Just tell them Dr. Vasudeva Das said that. I have one of my friends' daughter, she's a teacher in New York. You know, she sees some of my works, and the same simple things we talk in the class, but I just speak it in a way that is digestible to those so-called high-profile professors and all this. So she was after and laughed. She said, Maharaja, I will say exactly this and tell my students, this is by Dr. Vasudeva Das. So the point is that we can't do without Radharani. Now, let's get these points clearly. In our devotional culture, we have a female who is the mother of devotion, who is the emblem of devotion, who is the custodian of devotion. Not a male. Not what? A male. And see, we see this is there in our own literature. It's there. We don't want to reflect on it and apply the underlying principles in our lives. Now, even our own founder says, if we don't praise Radharani, we're going nowhere. Okay? But we have, some of us are very expert. I remember in Delhi, one boy who was helping me, assisting me. When you go to any of these temples, they send some brahmacharis to assist you. And that boy, he was very offensive to the female devotees. In fact, when one doctor, she's initiated devotee, heard that that boy was serving me, she personally came to me to complain about that boy. So I sat that boy down and told him, see, you're trying to be brahmachari. Good for you. You see, if you are biased against the female devotees, and you have Radharani as the head of our team, she is a custodian of devotion. If we don't please her, how you can try to please Radharani and you become very offensive to her companions? The female devotees are Radharani's companion. He was so taken aback because though he knows the philosophy that someone has not brought it down to act like this to him. I said, see, if you want to be offensive, no problem. Be offensive to men. You're trying to be brahmachari. If you're offensive to women, you will not sustain your brahmacharya for a long time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen people who masquerade as, very, very punk brahmacharis, tough. They're very offensive towards women. They never stay for long. So we have to be careful because, yes, today is similar to Radharani's appearance, and we need to understand the implications of that in our own daily sadhana. We need to please Radharani. And Radharani is also embedded in the 32-syllable Maha Mantra. Hare is the devotional energy of the Lord, which is depicting, or which is referring to Radharani. And so Radharani is there. But Sukadeva Goswami wouldn't mention Radharani directly in his conversation with Maharaj Parikshit. Why? Why? I have 2 more minutes. Why? Can someone tell us why Sukadeva wouldn't mention Radharani in his conversation with? If you come on. If you know, you raise up your hand. No, don't talk, Okay, yes, Bolo.
So when Sudas speaks about Radharani, he can't continue for the day ecstatic and he will stop there.
Yeah. Because Sukadeva Goswami is no other person than Radharani's parrot. That's the whole story behind that. Yeah. The point is that he just avoided anything that had to do with Radharani. Otherwise, the 7 days discussion, this within a metacognitive time frame, he has to deal with all of this to save Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit wanted to hear what will enable his liberation from birth and death. And if he swoons into ecstasy, it may be days So he avoided that. So the bottom line is that Radha is very important in our lives. And for the devotees, the worship of Radha is preeminent. You go to Raj, they don't chant Krishna's names. It's Radhe Radhe. Even the rickshaw water. So we should know how the worship of Radharani is very important. And an important thing for us in terms of our structural managerial system and our interactions is that we sometimes undermine women, and it's not something, we're not blaming anybody because it's something that has been intergenerational on this planet. Women, minimization of women is something, it's an antisocial modus operandi that has been intergenerational. In America, even women were not allowed to vote in elections until not long ago. So it's not just something peculiar in our society, but we are studying spiritual philosophy. We are trying to apply spiritual Acharya's teachings in our lives, and we are hearing this, the exalted position of female worshippers, companions of the Lord, like Radharani. We should reflect and draw something out of that to live in our lives, to create a positive change in our relationships with the female folks. If a female is the head of the domain in devotion, if a female is in charge, is the head of the domain, is the president of all presidents on this planet, Mother Bhumi, is it not?
Yes.
If a female is the person in charge of the most important department in the universe, education, it's not a female? Saraswati is not a female? Is it a man? Even the prison of this material universe, the chief warden is a female. All the essential positions in the spiritual world and the material world, they are managed by females. Mataji, you should hear this so that so that people don't relegate it to the background. I was in Sweden, and I'm in Switzerland before I went to Germany. And in Switzerland, one nurse, she got attracted to me, so she wants to be a disciple. So we've been communicating. And it's practically like every day she writes me something about if she's going to temple, she turned it around, this and that. So, but I had this experience even when I was in South America some years ago. We went on Harinam, and a lady, if she was carrying a gun, she would have shot me. She came out so angrily and was showing me, she was speaking in Spanish, was showing me something she marked on the science of self-realization. She was talking, and I didn't understand what she was saying, but she was so angry. This lady in Switzerland, the same thing. She wrote me so angrily. So I had to explain to her about, what proper meant, and, the implications of that. It's not a generalized, it's not a general phenomenon. There are women, the mother of devotion is a woman, this is a woman, this is a woman. She said, I hear you. So sometimes we get into complications because people don't understand what even the scriptures, what the statements of the scriptures, and they take it personal. China says something and then someone takes it personal. And so the bottom line, we need to understand that women have a place in our lives and in our devotional life. For that matter, the head, the captain of our devotional ship is Radharani. So if we respect and honor Radharani, we should also respect and honor other ladies around us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Śrimati Radharani ki jai. Sri Radhastami celebration ki jai. Sri Radhastami Mahotsava ki jai. All glories to the Sangha devotees.
Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaja ki jai.